Do you want to do some Amazon advertising but are a bit overwhelmed? Have you been running Amazon ads and unintentionally learned how not to run ads? Well, today I'm going to cover some worst ad mistakes I've seen, so stick around. Hey, Right Riders, Keith Wheeler here, and if you want to continue to get all the hints, tips, and tricks on how to make self-publishing easier, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash your little bell icon so you get alerted each and every time I put out a new video. In a previous video, I shared with you some of the worst Amazon mistakes I've seen. While some of those were real doozies, one thing that I realized is that many authors are making Amazon ads and are making mistakes without even knowing about it. So I wanted to give you 5 more mistakes that I've seen and hopefully present them in a way that you can use them as Amazon ad tips. Tip number 1, they don't know what they really need for an ACoS. ACoS is the percent of sales versus the amount of money you spent on Amazon ads. For example, if you have a series, what's your read-through rate? Read-through rate meaning when people that go from book 1 and read all the way through to the end of your series. Do you have other projects, products, or courses that your readers may upgrade to? These are all things that you should know about and have in your mind when you start figuring out your ACoS. Because when you look at your Amazon ads, you may see that your ACoS is 60% and you want it to be 35%. But if you know that your read-through rate is 14% or 60%, then you know that you really don't need to make as many initial sales because you know that they're going to keep coming back for more and more. Same thing about whether you have upgrades that people are doing. So you need to know the other aspects of your business and what those percent rates are so you can really see if the ads that you're running are being profitable. Because what may not look profitable from the Amazon ads dashboard standpoint may end up being profitable in the long run. Number 2, they're not tracking their daily stats. If you make any kind of change, whether it's turning off keywords, changing your keyword pricing for your cost per click, maybe changing your cover, changing your copy. If you make any changes like that, you're not going to know what benefit it did if you don't track daily. I don't mean go in and looking daily because we're all doing that, right? Because I covered that in my last video. But when you look at the dashboard for Amazon ads, it just shows you a cumulative list of impressions, clicks, sales, and everything else. What you need to do is you need to actually go to the right hand corner and export that on a daily basis, and that way you can see the difference between day 1 and day 2. So when you do make a change, whether it's a keyword you're turning on or off, or if you're changing your cost per click, you'll know whether it's being beneficial to you and helping you because you're being able to compare what you did yesterday to what you've done today. Number 3, something I like to call the buddy bid system. What does that mean? It means where I've seen authors find out what their buddies are doing on their Amazon ads and they just do the same thing. Maybe they use the same keywords, maybe they use the same bidding technique. And the problem is everybody's journey is different. Every author is different. Even if you're in the same niche, if they have more books in their backlist, then their read-through rate may be different. Even if they have the same number of books, if their read-through rate is a higher percent or a lower percent, then you really can't compare it to yours. So don't compare yourself to anybody else and don't listen to and just blindly do what your friend or co-author or anybody else that you're following. Even me. If you watch some of my videos and I say what I do, that's just, again, based on my own experience. If I say I always started off at a cost per click of 12 cents, you may find that 12 cents is way too much for your particular niche. Or you may find that it's not enough because as things get more progressive and get more competitive in your particular niche, you may have to set your cost per click at a higher rate. So again, what I'm giving you are starting points. They're based on my own experience, but don't fall into the buddy bid system. Number 4, people think that no sales on their dashboard really means no sales. No sales does not necessarily mean no profit because you have to consider KU or Kindle Unlimited downloads. If your book is in KDP Select program, then people may be downloading your book and reading it, and especially again if you have a series and they might be starting through the read-through process, but you're not seeing that as a sale because in Amazon's eyes it's not an official sale. So just because you are not seeing sales on the Amazon ads dashboard doesn't mean that your ad is a complete bust. Number 5, they worry too much about first page placement. Okay, don't get me wrong, first page placement is great. That's ideal. Ideally, you want to be at the top of the first page. But realistically, is it worth spending so much more money on a cost per click basis? And that really all goes down to your book, your budget, and your niche. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is if you're in a niche like, let's say, romance, those are voracious readers. So if your book is on page 2 or even page 3, that may not be a bad thing, because chances are if you go in and you look, page 1 is probably the same books as they were page 1 last week. But if you're in a niche where they have voracious readers, then they've probably read all those books. And if they haven't, they've probably gone through and decided that, this book is not something that they're interested in. So them going to page 2 and even page 3 is not unheard of. But what does it do is it saves you a lot of money that you can spend on running additional ads. And here's a bonus tip. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen a lot of new Amazon ad authors make is they get click happy. And what do I mean by that? I mean, when they see that Amazon is suggesting that they spend 45 cents cost per click as opposed to the 15 cents that they've set. Oh, well, that's what Amazon says, so I'm going to click on that. Or the option where you can click on it and they will bid up to 100% of your cost per click. If you've set your cost per click at 15 cents, but you click that button that says that they're allowed to bid up to 100% more, then that's 30 cents. And you might be thinking, I can afford 30 cents per click if it means I'm going to get that additional sale. But the problem with that is you don't know if maybe you could have gotten away with 15 cents. Maybe you could have gotten away with 20 cents. But you don't know that because you're automatically letting them bid up to twice as much. So my suggestion is, especially if you're new to Amazon ads, is set your bid. And then if you want to up it in 2-cent increments at a time. Then sit back. Again, you're going to track it daily and see if it's improving. So those are my 5 more Amazon ad mistakes that I've seen. Let me know in the comments if between last video and this video, if I still didn't cover a mistake that you've seen. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Also, one thing that I've found is a huge mistake that people make when it comes to Amazon ads isn't necessarily the ad themselves. It's the book description that they have. If you're getting clicks, but you're not getting buys, one of the main reasons may be that book description just doesn't pop enough. So if you want to make your book description pop, check out this video right here where I show you how to use some HTML code to really make that book description stand out. Or you can click on this video that YouTube has lined up and they think you'll love it. I'll catch you next video, and remember to write right.